Hi guys, welcome back. So few things before I start this video. First, my setting is very different. I actually hope the lighting here is okay. I'm actually at my college dorm. I'm in like a common room right now, so fingers crossed nobody walks in and sees me talking to a camera, you feel me? I don't have my studio lighting with me, so hopefully this all turns out okay. But this video was actually already filmed and posted like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, but what happened when I uploaded it is somehow like the last quarter of the video didn't upload, and I actually ended up losing all of my files, so I have to reshoot this video. So if you were one of like the few people that saw this video and were like, oh my gosh, where'd the video go? I'm sorry about that, but I'm refilming it today and hopefully I can get this up by tomorrow. So today's video we are going to be talking about how to do well in school and how to be a straight A student. So I think the best way to put this is just to kind of say these are the habits of a straight A student. Personally, I am such a nerd. Like I literally wrote down like notes on this video in my notebook just so I didn't miss anything. I personally really enjoy school. I pour myself into it just because it's one of those things that I'm only doing once in my life, so I feel like I should just kind of do it right, do it to the best of my abilities, and that's just kind of my perspective on it. So I have about 5 or 6 tips for you guys here today, and I hope that you guys enjoy this video and find it helpful. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into tip number 1 right now. All right, so tip number 1 that I have for you guys is organizing and planning. This is kind of the basic kind of structure of my life and kind of how I start off every term. I usually like to plan and organize that term. So I have like a daily planner. I actually have 2. These are both by Laton. I'm a huge notebook person, so I really love these. I will show you guys these a little bit more in depth in a minute, but I will have these linked below if you're interested. So what I like to do is I like to gather all of my dates from the course outline, course syllabus, and from my professor, and I like to get them all down. I hate missing dates. I've only done that like once in my life where I like missed a due date and I was like, oh my god, like I can't believe I did that, and I was like, never again, I'm never missing another due date. So I like to just avoid all that by getting all of my dates down, and I like to do this by having a monthly planner and a weekly planner. That way it's broken down into a month so I can see what's due each week, and then I like to have like my weekly planner so I can see, okay, each day this is what I have to do. So the dates that I like to get down are my class times and dates, of course. I never really like to miss a lecture, a tutorial, or seminar or anything. The second thing is assignments and anything else, any projects that are due, I like to get those down. Exams and tests, of course, those are really important, and then midterms, finals, and I don't know if there's like a presentation, anything like that, I like to get all of my dates down. That way I don't miss anything and it's very clear and I have enough time to like plan for all of that. So instead of just talking about that, we're actually going to plan a month together in my monthly planner and in like my weekly daily planner. So let's jump into that right now.
So the first thing I like to do is I like to color code my courses. This term is a little bit different for me because I'm studying abroad, so I don't have all of my course dates yet, but I'm just going ahead and writing down my seminar dates, tutorial dates, and lecture dates. So this is usually what the monthly planner looks like. Usually I'll write down like my exam dates and all of that, but once I get them, I'll definitely add them in. And then we move on to our weekly daily planner, and this one definitely gets super full as time goes on, but I definitely like breaking it down day by day and then having a monthly planner as well. So that's what they look like.
All right, tip number 2 that I have for you is probably the most simple out of all of them, but that is actually going to your lectures, going to your classes. Sometimes, what is that? Oh, that's an airplane, sorry. I thought it was thunder. It's like raining right now. It's like, that is some loud thunder. No, it's just a plane, we're good. Going to class is one of the biggest things because honestly, like I have totally skipped lectures before and I regret it every single time. Like I feel so bad if I skip a lecture because I know that there's going to be at least one piece of information that I'm gonna miss out on that would help me on either an assignment, an exam, anything like that. So I think it's really important to, you know, go to your classes. You're paying a lot for your lectures, so you may as well just go, even if you don't want to be there. I think that's such a big thing. It's just trying your best. Don't be on your phone in class. Like, really just try and absorb what the professor is saying. Even if you don't want to write notes or anything like that, like, just go to class, sit there, and one way or the other, information is going to go through you. So I think that's really important, is just attending class and really being present and try to focus. I also really want to elaborate really quick on the don't be on your phone. Sometimes, you know what, we all pull out our phone and like take a quick look, but like I always see some students just like on their phone the whole time, and I'm like, how do you even, like, why, what? I actually had this one professor in first year who didn't allow any technology in his class, like no cell phones, no computers, laptops, nothing. It was like pen and paper, old school. And I actually really liked that, because he told us that when there's technology in the classroom, students are likely to get an average of 7 to 10% lower grade. So ever since he laid down those facts on me, I was like, okay, you know what? I actually just like put all my electronics away, and it's a distraction to you, to others. So you know what? Just like bring a piece of paper and a pen to class and just write jot notes. So tip number 3, this is a really, really big tip. I think it's so important to really pay attention to what the professor is spending the most time talking about and what they're really emphasizing in your lectures, because this is a great indication of what you're going to be tested on. Oh my god, I just heard somebody. I was like, Right, so like I was saying, whatever the professor is really emphasizing, it's a great indication of like what you're going to be tested on. There's a reason why professors will really go over a topic or really try and emphasize things to the students, because these are things that, oh, okay, maybe we should know this. Maybe we should really write some jot notes down. So usually what I like to do is I will come to class with my pen and paper, I will write jot notes throughout the class, and then whatever the professor is really discussing and spending a lot more time on, I'll put an asterisk by those notes, just so I know for later when I'm writing my full notes, okay, this was spent, a lot of time was spent on this, so I should probably like read my textbook, go over this a couple times, and really familiarize myself with those details, because you're likely to see that on an exam. I really started to like notice this, and this tip especially has helped me so much, because honestly, there have been times where I'm just like, okay, I know why you're talking about this so much, and then lo and behold, it's like totally on a final. Tip number 4, so usually, okay, you guys are gonna think I'm so extra here, which it totally is, but usually what I like to do after lectures, I will either read my textbook before or after class, and then I will go home and I will gather my jot notes that I've taken throughout the class, the lecture slides, the lecture, if there's lecture notes, and then I will take my textbook, kind of combine all of that information and write one like form of notes, if that makes sense. So usually I do this after every class, just because I find that if I'm writing weekly notes and really staying on top of things, it makes studying, it makes remembering the facts so much easier, especially when like midterms and finals roll around, because I hate writing like 6 chapters of notes in one sitting. Like, it's just not ideal. I feel like I don't retain it as best as I can if I were to do it weekly, you know what I mean? It just will make your life so much easier if you stay on top of these notes. And I also think it's really important to write notes, because for me at least, okay, it's so important to like really understand what type of learner you are. Like for me, I find that if I'm writing notes and I'm writing things over and over again, it's such a great way for me to study, because it really like ingrains it into my head. Whereas if you're the type of person that just reading a textbook is like enough for you and that's like perfect, by all means do that. But if you're the type of person that you know, you need a little bit more, you need to study a little bit more, definitely try writing notes, because it's good to summarize things in your own words. It's really good to go over things in your own time. That way you kind of understand things in your own head, if that makes sense. I think it's important to really like get the information down in a way that you really understand, in a way that you can reiterate it in an exam or in an assignment or anything like that. So yeah, that's a really big tip. Sometimes I will take like 2 or 3 hours to do like 1 chapter worth of notes, but it is completely worth it, especially when it comes to studying. So if you're not a huge note taker, just do the jot notes and put an asterisk beside what's important, and even that will totally help you out. All right, tip number 5. This is one of my favorite tips because, like I said, I'm a nerd and I love having my color-coded weekly notes. Like literally when I get my notes done, I'm just like, yep, I'm done. I really like to make my own midterm and final reviews, and then if the professor gives me any materials to like study, I will definitely incorporate those. But I usually like to take my weekly notes and just summarize everything into a midterm review. And then sometimes I'll rewrite these notes maybe like 2 or 3 times, and that's my form of studying. Again, it's all about what type of learner you are. So if you can just reread notes maybe like 4 or 5 times and you've got it, good for you. But I think sometimes writing it down just really helps to solidify it in your memory. So that's personally what I like to do. That's how I like to study, and it's very satisfying. I have to say, it is, when you have like that final review. It's like, yeah, like I worked hard for this. Also, when it comes to studying, I personally usually recommend studying about 2 weeks prior to your midterms or finals. I've totally done the week before thing, and oh my God, was I stressed out. I was like, I can't do this, I will not remember this, and I'm like psyching myself out. Give yourself enough time to study before you get stressed out. I think that's such a huge thing, and really doing these notes weekly will help keep you kind of like on top of things, and it will keep you calm in a way. Like I feel like if I were to just go through each week and just kind of be like, oh, whatever, I'll do it later. Come like 4th week and I'm like 4 weeks behind on like readings and notes, I would be freaking out. So that is just a huge tip. It's the most time consuming, but it is 100% worth it, trust me. Tip number 6, my last tip for you guys. This one is so important, and this is just not to stress out as much as I know you're going to. And as I'm talking to you, Ashley, I know you're gonna stress out. You know what? It is so easy to just get overwhelmed and psych yourself out and just be like, you know what? I'm going to fail. Stay confident in yourself. Stay confident in your work that you've done. Give yourself enough time. That goes into planning your week in a journal, that goes into writing notes, that goes into everything that you're doing leading up to your exams. So just try your best not to stress out. Stress plays with your head and makes you think that you can't do things that you truly are absolutely capable of. Minimizing stress, going to the gym, getting enough sleep, these are all things that are really going to come together and help you in the end. Just try not to stress out. Another thing, actually this is kind of like another tip, but becoming a morning person, you guys are probably gonna hate me for saying this. I'm the type of person that if I can wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. every day, and I know that sounds ridiculous, it's taken a really long time for me to kind of get into that routine, but the amount of work that I can get done from like 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and still have time to go to class is amazing. If you try this, you will see that like, wow, your life becomes so much easier because you're getting all of this work done in the morning when you have the most energy, and then it's done for the day and you can, you know, go to school, go to your lectures, or go to work, or whatever you have. I used to be the type of person, there's airplanes just every 5 minutes. I'm sorry if you can hear that, but I used to be the type of person that would go to bed at 4 or 5 every night, schedule my classes in the afternoon, and I realized, oh wow, I'm really not getting enough work done, because I would get home at 5 or 6 and I'd be like, well, it's time for dinner, time for bed. So I think becoming a morning person has been one of the biggest changes that I've had to make, but it's also created the biggest change in my life. Like, I'm a different person now because I've become a morning person. I get so much more work done, I'm a lot more productive, and I think that it's really just like strengthened my work ethic. So I would say give it a try. It might not happen on the first try, maybe not even the second or the third, but give it a try. Honestly, just see how it works for you, and if it does, you will see a huge change, believe me. Those are all of the Alright guys, so those are all of the tips that I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you guys would like to see any other kind of videos like this, definitely let me know in the comments, because when I'm in school, like, this is such a big part of my life, and I would be so happy to share more of these types of videos with you. If you want to see like how I study and all of that, just let me know and I'll definitely film some more videos like this. So I hope you all have a wonderful term if you're still in school. We'll talk to you guys in my next video. Sending you all the love. Okay, bye. Just kidding.